Who will win the 2024 Lok Sabha elections? That's the million-dollar question everyone is asking. As we get closer to counting day, which is the 4th of June, pollsters, political analysts, journalists, and even armchair experts on social media are sticking their neck out. Each of them has a prediction. Some say 400 plus seats for the BJP-led NDA, which by the way was the Prime Minister's original target, is far from becoming a reality. For some, a return of Narendra Modi as Prime Minister for the third term seems inevitable, albeit with a smaller margin rather than what we saw in 2019. And then there are some that believe the opposition India bloc has a very good chance of beating the NDA. This week, two contrary opinions made headlines. Two political analysts known for their astute reading of Indian politics and elections. One a former political strategist and the other a former psephologist. Prashant Kishor and Yogendra Yadav. Prashant Kishor says BJP could retain their 2019 tally if not add to it, which is basically 300 seats plus. While Yogendra Yadav, on the other hand, says BJP won't cross 272 seats, which is the majority mark. It is these diametrically opposite predictions by two well-known political analysts that has stirred quite a debate. Let's try and understand what each has to say. Hello and welcome to Simply Put. I am Shubham Chohan. Let's get started. So over the last few days, there have been a bunch of interviews given by both Prashant Kishor and Yogendra Yadav. Prashant Kishor was a political strategist. He was credited with Prime Minister Modi's successful campaign in 2014 and later with other opposition leaders like Mamata Banerjee, M.K. Stalin and Jagan Mohan Reddy to name a few. Yogendra Yadav was a psephologist and someone who has followed Indian politics and elections very closely over the years. The topics of their respective interviews ranged from Rahul Gandhi, Brand Modi, Opposition India bloc, and what are the seats and areas where BJP could make inroads and where is it that they may potentially lose. In fact, one of the interviews that really trended on social media was this 5 to 7 minute chunk from Prashant Kishor's interview to Karan Thapar of The Wire. Kishor was visibly agitated when Thapar questioned him about his wrong predictions in the previous assembly elections, like the former's prediction of the Congress's quote-unquote impending electoral drought in Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat. This is what PK had tweeted in 2022. Later that year, Congress won in Himachal Pradesh. Kishor in the interview asked for video proof of what he said. But let's come back to the substance and subject at hand. We went through some of the interviews recently that both Yadav and Kishor gave, and here are some of the key observations. First, on Brand Modi. In an interview to RTV Andhra Pradesh, Kishor said that the power of Brand Modi is declining. He said, and I quote, "People are seeing in this election that Brand Modi is not invincible. It's not like no one can challenge him. People are giving him a challenge whether a political party or a leader challenges him or not. In 2024, people are feeling that there's no one else to vote for. Brand Modi is weakening. The power of Brand Modi is declining in comparison to what was seen in 2014 and 2019. Essentially, what Prashant Kishor is saying is that while Prime Minister Modi's personal appeal or his brand is declining, people are still tilting towards the BJP because of what is called the Tina factor. There is no alternative. Kishor added that the opposition has not done enough to capitalize on this and try to convert it into votes. Yogendra Yadav, on the other hand, admitted that Modi is ahead of any other leader in India in terms of popularity. But he added that his name isn't solely enough. In an interview to Faye D'Souza, Yadav said, and I quote, "Mr. Modi's name is not enough to shut every other conversation. So people talk about inflation, unemployment, farmers' plight. All the other livelihood issues are coming out. Second, while there is no anger against PM, there is enormous anger against incumbent MPs." In fact, countering Kishor directly, Yogendra Yadav said that to equate voter dissatisfaction and Modi's declining popularity with an increase in BJP's vote tally are contradictory in itself. Next, on the BJP and NDA's fortunes in this Lok Sabha election. Now, before we get to the numbers, it's important to underline one thing here. Neither Prashant Kishor nor Yogendra Yadav have done any official survey or polls that back their claims. In Yogendra Yadav's case, his observations are anecdotal in nature. Yadav said his team and him traveled to different parts of the country like East and West UP, Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka and Bihar. The places where he couldn't go, He relied on inputs from local journalists. Prashant Kishor, meanwhile, didn't specify any such methodology, but seems to have relied on his own reading of the current political situation. And here are the numbers. Yogendra Yadav has given a detailed state-wise breakup of where the BJP could win or lose seats, like in this interaction with HW News' managing editor, Sujit Nair.
Normally, more often than not. And the rationale comes from the fact that, listen, most of the states, BJP has maxed out. Now, what we are talking about is South. BJP going up in South to somehow be better than what they've done before. Now, the rationale also is that a lot of states today show a dip in BJP's popularity. Now, these are rationale that has happened much before the analysis. Now, the fact is, sir, where does such figures come from? Therefore, where does such analysis come from? BJP doing more than 300 plus, South growing. On what basis?
To my mind, there is a grain of truth in it. And the grain of truth is this, that BJP appears to be improving its vote share in all those areas and states where it underperformed in 2019. And wherever it performed very well or was saturated, it is coming down. Now, it so happens that the second category is much bigger than the first category. And it also happens that BJP's gains of votes are unlikely to translate into big gains in terms of seats. In the South, take South, Kerala. What is the best case scenario for BJP? BJP's dream would be 2 seats, Thiruvananthapuram and Trichy.
Correct.
And if you said 1, they would still be delighted. So we're speaking of 1 or 2, 0, 1 or 2. That's the entire range that we are looking at. In Tamil Nadu, forget the hype. The fact is, BJP on its own, it's very hard because BJP doesn't have AIADMK with it. In the absence of AIADMK, for BJP, it would be very hard to open their account. Their allies may win, PMK may win, Tamil Maanila Congress may do well. BJP should once again be delighted with 1 or 2 seats. Although their vote share can go up substantially, it's definitely in the teens. So again, 1 or 2. Add to it Puducherry as well. In Andhra Pradesh, BJP's vote share in the last parliamentary election was lower than Nota.
You can catch the full interview on our channel. Prashant Kishor, meanwhile, has not given a state-wise figure. He said that such forecasts won't be accurate. Rather, PK's predictions are region-wise. In an interview to Barkha Dutt, he said, in the west and north where the BJP wins bulk of its seats, it will not face any material damage. I do not want to go seat by seat or state by state. In the infamous Karan Thapar interview, Kishor elaborated that material damage would mean BJP losing more than 50 seats. More importantly, he also predicted that BJP will add 20 to 25 seats from the east and south. Now, this is a region where the Saffron Party has struggled to expand. Interestingly, in interviews he gave in March and April that period, he went a step ahead and made some predictions. He told PTI, and I'm quoting again, I had said this a year back that for the first time, I see the BJP in double digits in Tamil Nadu in terms of vote share. BJP will either be first or second party in Telangana, which is a big thing. BJP will be number 1 in Odisha for sure. You would be surprised, as in all likelihood, to my mind, the BJP is going to be the number 1 party in West Bengal. So what is the conclusion? For starters, no one can predict elections straight away, and that too with extreme precision. Yes, there will be research in the form of surveys, opinion polls, and even exit polls. But what they do is provide a general direction as to which way the wind is blowing. But to extrapolate it as the exact outcome would be quite a risk. Because mind you, several polls and analysts have gotten elections wrong in the past. Take Kishor and Yadav for instance. Prashant Kishor predicted BJP's poor performance spot on in the 2021 West Bengal Assembly elections. That was an election he was personally handling as a strategist for Mamata Banerjee. But there are polls like 2017 Assembly elections in UP for Congress and SP and 2023 Telangana elections which he got horribly wrong. And currently, Prashant Kishor is looking for an entry into the political arena in Bihar with his Jan Suraj campaign. On the other hand, Yogendra Yadav was heavily trolled for getting the 2019 elections wrong, among others. He is also known to be closely associated with parties like Aam Aadmi Party once upon a time, and more recently, the Congress Party. He was the convener of the Congress's Bharat Jodo Abhiyan and had said that his party, which is Swaraj India, was suspending operations to support the Congress. The real test for not just these two, but for so many out there predicting elections would be June 4, that's when the actual results would come out. And besides the political parties, these predictions too will be reminded of repeatedly. Brace yourself to witness heavy trolling for whoever gets it wrong. And it is precisely this uncertainty that makes Indian elections even more interesting. That's all we have for this episode of Simply Put. Do let us know who you think has the edge in the Lok Sabha elections. Also like and share the video, share it as much as possible. And of course, subscribe to HW News English. Thanks for watching.
Stay ahead with our cutting-edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.